Milan, 1986. Italian billionaire Silvio Berlusconi lands on the San Siro pitch in a helicopter blasting Ride of the Valkyries. He'll go on to lead AC Milan to 2 decades of glory. But behind the suntan and scudettos lurks an empire of sleaze. Silvio scrapped with Liverpool fans, lured the EU president to a sex party, and branded the German chancellor an unfuckable lardarse. And he was still elected prime minister 3 times. From mafia henchmen to bunga sex parties, welcome to the seedy world of Silvio Berlusconi. And welcome back to The Upshot. My name is Jack. Hello, Zach.
Hey, Jack.
And we are rejoined by quite popular demand, I should say, by Mickey Down.
Welcome back, Mickey.
Welcome back, old friend of the pod.
Good to be back, guys. Really good to be back. I was saying to Zach, I haven't been here since you both got proper haircuts.
Yeah,
proper.
Calling it proper.
Yeah, exactly. Yours
Jack's
is getting
still,
a little bit ratty.
working on it.
Mickey you are of course the co-creator of HBO and BBC series Industry.
Yes,
which is fucking
Thank you
great.
for giving a little plug.
There's a 4th series at some point.
There is. But I said when we weren't recording this that I can't say when it is. So this is
we're not
pointless.
saying when.
No, it's early next year.
Yeah, I've got a line in it, so tune in just for that. I've got playing a speaking role.
He's got a speaking role, playing some sort of cool product designer.
Yeah, as himself. Yeah, I think I'm playing product designer 1 or maybe number 2 actually.
A couple of digs against podcasts in that scene.
Yeah, there's a line in the scene where someone says there should be a fucking tax on podcast equipment, which is like the comment we get the most on Instagram. I would say people always say it. There should be tariffs on podcast equipment.
Yeah, I will say that Jack did have to audition for the role, and he sent me the audition topless.
It's like one of Berlusconi's TV shows.
His nipples out and wet hair.
Yeah, I did. Well, you were like, just do it now, and I just got out of the shower.
Yeah, no.
I mean, the erection was unnecessary.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But why were you sending me the bottom half?
When it comes out, that's being held in escrow.
We need to see something.
Yeah, exactly.
Exactly, you're playing a
I thought
part.
that's how like Hollywood and shit works, isn't it?
It is. I love that on the screen it says Mickey Seedy Specialist.
Yeah, well, the previous episodes we've done together.
Does that mean just someone doesn't know about sport?
Okay, you can choose to read it out. Yeah. Someone who knows about certain other matters. Just to like summarise how ridiculous a character he is. So, at the height of his power, Silvio Berlusconi was Prime Minister of Italy, richest person in Italy, President of AC Milan, who are the biggest club in Italy, owned 3 of the main TV channels in Italy. He owned the biggest publishing company and several newspapers. As The Guardian said, Berlusconi gathered himself more power than was ever wielded by one individual in a Western democracy. And he was a dirty old dog. So the Wikipedia page on his legal cases against him is 18,000 words. And he's also, as Zach was saying, he's one of the strangest looking men you can imagine. Looking at a picture of him now.
I know, but do you think, how old is he in that photo that we're looking at now?
70s.
This is quite late, I think.
He's got his political party in the background, so I would say 70s there. It's noughties.
He looks like a Madame Tussauds waxwork, I think.
Yeah.
Or like sort of Thunderbirds. Or he looks like, when you go to museums and they have these weird, like, animated models of, like
they've got one in the
caveman
Amsterdam.
or something.
In Amsterdam, they've got that in the sex museum. They've got that thing that like opens its Mac and has like a big hairy cock underneath it, and it's like.
I mean, that's what he really is.
Exactly. It's like I can imagine him opening that double-breasted suit and seeing a big hairy cock underneath.
Slightly whiter teeth. He's actually got very white teeth and like that fake tan.
Yeah.
That is
fake tan. He's Italian.
No, but he's
absolutely.
absolutely.
He's embalmed there.
Yeah, but like what I don't understand is that is one of the most untrustworthy looks you can have. He's even got that like Wall Street trader collar, right? The white collar with the blue shirt. It's the most untrustworthy look.
It goes to show how much charisma can take you. Because, I mean, as you said, he was elected 3 times to be Prime Minister of Italy.
Yeah.
After like several political and financial scandals.
Yeah. Multiple. He just kept coming back.
Yeah, I mean, when you look that artificial, then it's no surprise that you're hard to take down, right?
Should we get into it? Because it's a wild saga. And it is. The word seedy is going to come up a lot.
Yeah, it certainly is. So we go all the way back to the start. So Silvio Berlusconi was born in 1936 in Milan. He's the oldest of 3 kids. He's actually from a relatively humble background. It's a pretty normal lower middle class family. His dad worked at a bank. The bank supposedly had some mafia links to it. I think they stored their money there. The family actually have to flee Milan in 1943. So it's Second World War and the Allies bomb Milan. So Silvio and the family have evacuated to a village in the countryside where his grandparents live. And he recalls milking the neighbours' cows and picking potatoes from the fields to get money to feed the family. And all the time he's out in the fields, and you can see this glow from Milan burning from the bombing. After the war, they moved back to the city though, and Silvio's sent to this very strict disciplinarian Christian school. Although he doesn't quite stick to the teachings of the Bible, because he's expelled age 10 when he stabs another student with a knife during a fight.
10?
10, yeah.
Hell. Oh, so he's
a psychopath.
Yeah.
He's a psychopath.
Was he sort of like chopping up frogs and like torturing cats to death before that, before he moved on to a human?
It starts with burning wasps.
Yeah,
it just
exactly.
keeps going up.
Yeah.
It's like catching flies with sellotape and putting their wings off.
And then you're just stabbing someone in the leg. How bad's the stabbing?
He was stabbed him in the hand, apparently. So I think they got into a bit of a scrap. Apparently, I was reading a biography of him, and saying that apparently the priests or whatever, the teachers at this Christian school were pretty tough on Silvio in particular. So
I'm impressed you read a biography for this.
We do that now.
You know what?
I sat down and said, "Who are we doing today?" Don't really prep for this.
Yeah. No, you don't need to prep, but we read a book.
I read a couple actually skim read a couple.
Wow, guys.
One of them was very much the party line.
Oh, really?
It was just this like grand narrative of like Silvio Berlusconi came from nothing. Everyone who worked with him when he was a businessman just said, "What a strong and powerful leader he
Straight
was."
shooter.
Such great moral compass. The other one was a bit more.
Yeah, he stabbed a 10-year-old in the hand. Something about stabbing in the hand also quite like he's maybe seen a mafia guy do. It's quite cold-blooded, isn't it?
It was a screwdriver.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like something he might have witnessed, not necessarily at home, but at the bank.
Yeah. I don't know if he would have witnessed it at home, actually, because it was a very religious family. 8 of his family members were nuns, apparently. And they always used to joke that he'd make a great pope. I'm not sure if that was before or after the stabbing.
Went in a different direction at the end.
Did.
You like kids then?
Yeah.
He's actually quite musical. I didn't know that. He played double bass and sang in a band when he was a teenager, and they'd perform around different dance halls and nightclubs in Milan. And then actually later performed as a crooner on cruise ships.
Oh, we're looking at Peg.
Yeah,
he's pretty good looking, isn't he?
He is quite a looker back in his...
You can tell he's good looking in his youth
you?
Well, I mean, you don't behave like that in your old age if you weren't good looking when you were young.
But looking at his face, you can't even tell he had a youth. It's just like,
exactly.
It's
I mean,
weird
it
facade.
was the 40s.
Yeah, but he's good looking.
He is good looking.
In that. So is that him on a cruise ship?
That's him on a cruise ship.
He is. He's got a bit of a Sinatra thing going.
Yeah. He sang a lot of Frank Sinatra actually in Broadway musical songs.
Yeah. Apparently his albums sold very well in Italy. I think like in the 90s, and still a lot of Italians will listen to them today.
Do we have a clip?
No, so we went online listening.
Can't afford it.
No, for rights reasons. No, we went online listened and it was
yeah,
Italian crooner stuff.
Yeah, it's all in Italian.
Really, you need a gramophone.
Yeah, it wasn't worth listening.
He does a stint in Paris as well doing cabaret.
Oh yeah.
But his dad shows up at one of his shows one time, and he's up on stage crooning out "My Way" by Frank Sinatra, and spots his dad scowling from the back of the auditorium. And after the show, his dad pulls him aside. It's like, "Silvio, you're coming back to Milan. You're finishing your law degree."
So that was some High School Musical for him.
Yeah, why is it that his dad doesn't approve of like the sort of burlesque women around him, or just the general?
Yeah, I think just in general, just like this isn't a proper career.
I guess cabaret is a bit seedy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'd rather you become the Pope.
Or a lawyer.
Something that's less seedy.
But yeah, anyway, his dad drags him back to Milan, finishes his law degree. He does actually hang on to his musical side a bit though. There are some videos we saw online of him singing later, and he ends up writing AC Milan's anthem alongside this music producer.
At gunpoint to them. It's like, I'm going to write a thing, sing the theme to you. I now own the club.
Anyway, as for his business career, that kicks off in the early 60s. So he's in his 30s at this point. sort of late 20s, early 30s. And he starts off building houses in Milan. It is all a little bit dodgy, you'll be shocked to hear. So, for example, his very first successful business deal, he bought all this land that was next to Milan airport, right under where the planes took off. So you couldn't build on it because the planes were so low over it. But he bought that and then very quickly got them to move the flight path using his connections and just built a huge development there, sold it for millions. And he's off on his way. He's a rich man after that point. It's quite like oligarch stuff, sort of using political pressure to get you millions. And very quickly, he is filthy rich and splashes out in 1973 on an 18th century palace just outside Milan, which really becomes his lair for the next 50 years, really. It's massive. It's got tennis courts, horse runs, stables, 2 swimming pools, hundreds of acres. It's filled... At the time, at the sort of peak of his political power, it's described as filled with paintings by Italian masters. Although when he died, there was like a bit more detail on this. So he had a collection of 25,000 paintings, but people who are acquainted with the collection said actually most of them were pornographic and, quote, bought from late night television shopping channels.
Pornographic? I mean, is that the sort of like pre-Raphaelite nudes?
Yeah,
or is that like when you go to a garage and you see like nuts
No, so
taped to the wall?
it's like, it's not pre-Raphaelite nudes, it's like more at the porn end. So one of them was a version of the Mona Lisa where she's topless.
Oh, okay, right, okay. So like custom.
Custom stuff. When you bought it on a late night shopping channel, they said it was more Pirelli calendar than our collection.
Oh, really?
So,
Yeah,
I
it's
think
like a garage.
Yeah, more in a garage.
Yeah, more like a sort of a sort of brasses that you'd see postcards from prostitutes.
Yeah.
You see in like
I think with maybe like
phone box.
faintly dressed as like old masters and stuff like that. Yeah, apparently his relatives are considering burning the collection.
Oh, really?
They've inherited them.
No value in them.
Well, there's 25,000 as well.
Can you imagine you inherit Silvio Berlusconi's painting collection? You're like, amazing. God, there's going to be some like Caravaggios in there. And then you go up to the attic and you're just going through them. It's like, oh,
it's the Mona Lisa with big tits.
Is that the Mona
Goth Mona Lisa.
Venus de Milo with
Never
a
seen
cock in
that
her
version.
Exactly, a lost master.
Don't remember this one, actually. Anyway, so shortly after moving into this palace, he hires a fella called Vittorio Mangano as his stable keeper. So, you know, stable keeper job, sort of mucking out the stables, keeping the horses in order, walking around the run every day. But it turns out that Vittorio ain't no horse whisperer. He is, in fact, a feared member of the Cosa Nostra, the Sicilian mafia.
Did he know that when he hired him?
I think he probably did.
probably had
Really the lawyer to answer that
Yeah,
one.
so basically there's a big case later where a couple of guys from the Cosa Nostra flip and they turn on all their other members and denounce them in court. And they reveal that Cosa Nostra bosses used to come and visit Berlusconi at this villa in this era and have meetings with him. So Mangano's the fixer for that, basically. He's the point man. So yeah, I think he knew very well. And Mangano's a seriously bad dude. He's not a lower ranking member. He was accused of, among other crimes, arranging the kidnap of Prince Luigi D'Angero, who went round for dinner with Berlusconi at the mansion and on his way home was nabbed by the mafia in his car and taken into their car. They actually botched it because while they were driving off, they crashed and he managed to escape.
I was reading about that, and apparently he was. they stopped his car, kidnapped him, and got him into the back of this Alfa Romeo, and apparently they were just driving it like absolute nutters, and he's on the back seat, just like, guys, please, can we just like slow down, please? Like, could have a crash. Then they just crashed it,
And he got away.
Yeah.
But like, I have to say that story sounds a little bit like Silvio was implicated. Why was he having dinner with him?
Yeah.
But anyway, who knows? Mangano is actually eventually jailed for a couple of murders. And the prosecutor who first named him as a kingpin died in a car bomb. So
Yeah,
he's
I
in the Sicilian
connect the
mafia.
dots.
Yeah.
By the 70s, though, Silvio Berlusconi is moving from construction into media. So he starts out buying this local TV station in Milan. And up to this point, Italian TV is pretty dull. It's a bit like British TV in the sort of 50s, 60s. Quite dry, educational broadcasts.
I can see where this is
But
going. I think tits are going to be involved.
It's not going to be the weakest
It's the
link,
theme,
is it?
isn't it, of this podcast? The women.
Yeah, that's that kind
This
of stuff.
particular podcast.
I said it was seedy.
It's,
Yeah, this episode.
yeah, this is particularly seedy. Unsurprisingly, that kind of stuff isn't really Silvio's bag, and he quickly revolutionizes Italian TV. So he introduces some of it's quite, fairly normal entertainment shows, quizzes, cartoons, just light entertainment. But then there's also quite a lot of sort of burlesque style shows, scantily clad women, topless women dancing. There's one account of it said, the women rarely spoke beyond introducing commercial breaks or replying that they didn't know the answer to a question.
So he's replacing like the news at 10 with like Eurotrash.
Yes.
the whole TV landscape is Eurotrash.
But I think it's basically like Rupert Murdoch with the newspapers, isn't it? Because like even the thing of like didn't know the answer to the question, which is just needless misogyny. He didn't need to have that. That's quite like Page 3 having their their quote.
Tell me about the Iraq War, Operation Desert Storm, and it's like I have no idea.
Yeah, it's quite that vibe, isn't it?
Yeah. Funny detail I liked was years later, the BBC sued Berlusconi for broadcasting a pornographic version of Strictly Come Dancing.
How did you do that?
But it was like Strictly Come Dancing,
Hardcore
except
porn, like insertion.
No, they're basically
on the dance floor.
Just in the art leg.
Apparently, it was just like topless women dancing around, like simulating sex and supposedly dancing, which it's hard to imagine Anne Widdecombe doing that.
Does the BBC have a do they have a monopoly on that?
No, but they claimed it was. They own the Strictly brand.
It was Strictly, but with a CUM.
Yeah. Yep. They said it was too similar. And then I read, because Berlusconi's executive goes, stealing ideas isn't a crime. And they were like, yeah, but you're passing it off as their brand. And he had to be like, I didn't say that.
Stealing ideas also is a crime.
Well, not ideas.
Okay, yeah.
Let's not get
intellectual property.
Copyright law.
Yeah.
I think it was only one specific dance where like, everyone has to do the cha-cha, and just one of the dancers came out and just had no top on. We watched someone had done like a compilation of like, this is what Berlusconi did to TV thing. It's just like quick cuts, and it is like strictly just scantily clad women. It's mental.
Yeah. I mean, that is really his taste, isn't it?
Yeah. These clips in Zanado's film aren't from late night TV shows. Many were broadcast during the day or early evening. They show women who are not just sexualised, they're often humiliated.
Alongside that, he also starts importing these American shows, Baywatch among them. Although Pamela Anderson in a red swimsuit isn't the only one that Silvio's ogling, because in 1980 he first sets eyes on the lovely Veronica Lario. So she's dancing topless in a show that he goes to see.
Everyone's dancing topless.
It's Italy, come on.
Yeah, is that what it was
It's
like?
Italy in the 70s.
Yeah, is that what it was?
In the 80s.
Yeah.
Anyway, Silvio begins an affair with Veronica that goes on for the next 5 years. So I should say he's been married since the mid-60s and has 2 kids. But he divorces.
That's such a funny detail.
Forgot about that.
Totally forgot about that. He was married.
I mean, so did he, I think. He does divorce his first wife in 1985 and marries Veronica 5 years later. Back in the media world, though, Silvio is quickly picking up a collection of regional stations, and he eventually forms this national broadcaster. So at the time, it was actually illegal to have private national channels in Italy. But fortunately, Silvio had befriended the Prime Minister and head of the Socialist Party, Bettino Craxi. And Craxi just issues a decree that makes Berlusconi's network legal, which was very nice of him, obviously.
That's Channel 2 now.
Yeah, exactly.
It would emerge some years later that Berlusconi's media group had funneled close to $17 million into Craxi's secret offshore bank accounts.
So that's a straight up bribery job.
Yeah.
I do think you should be allowed to have a national broadcaster.
Yeah. No, it's
The law, yeah.
You should.
The law needs to change.
Yeah.
Sometimes you've got to grease the wheels. A lot.
Yeah,
It's a lot of grease.
Yeah, to a personal bank account.
Yeah. In Switzerland.
But with this media empire and friends in high places, Silvio is quickly becoming very powerful and very influential. And in 1978, he's invited to join Propaganda Due, which is this secret neo-fascist Masonic lodge.
It's a lot of
And-
words.
Yeah.
Secret neo-fascist Masonic. It's like,
It's lodge.
I wonder what they're up to.
Yeah.
That sounds above board.
Well, yeah, it's a secret group.
It's also called
but-
propaganda too.
But yeah, there's some seriously influential people in there. The heir to the Italian throne, along with the heads of the Secret Service.
Italy is fucking
And-
mental, isn't
It
it?
is.
Yeah.
What is the Masons thing? It's big in Italy, isn't it? Because Mussolini was really like hard on them.
He clamped down. This group was banned by Mussolini,
Right.
but they sort of came back slowly
And adopted his ideology.
and jumped to his ideology. Yeah, and over the following years after Silvio joins, Propaganda Duo implicated in numerous high-profile Italian crimes, political corruption, and contract killings of journalists as well. No idea whether he was directly implicated in that, but the group was. They were actually shut down when police raid the villa of its leader in 1982 and find a written plan for a coup.
That's good evidence.
Yeah.
Sort of the obvious
How to take over the government on the back
Yeah.
of a napkin.
seize control of the
Yeah.
army. Step one.
Yeah, I mean, you could kind of see why
Replace the army
Silvio.
with naked women.
Yeah,
Starts with naked
Two.
weakest link host. Amassed 25,000 pornographic paintings. Yeah, I guess his role in that is the media.
yeah, exactly. He's one of the most powerful media figures. So getting him on their side, part of the group, is their way to control the
But
media,
this is
basically.
sort of the story of his rise from the beginning, isn't it? It's like he's just useful to organised crime. Like even from the very early deals, like I think his housing projects, they're funded by sort of like various banks. It's all quite shady where the money comes from. But I think he's just like a useful kind of front man, straight man for them.
Well, I'm assuming they moved the flight path as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. Well, or they provided the bribes
Yeah.
that moved the fly path, whatever. Yeah, yeah.
The truncheons to the head.
Yeah, carrot and stick.
Yeah, mostly stick.
With Propaganda Duo shut down, this coup is off the cards, and Silvio sticks to growing his media empire. So he gets control of several newspapers, founds this publishing company, and through these different sources, he amasses a huge fortune. And so he decides it's time to turn to Italy's other love, calcio.
Yeah. So AC Milan in the mid 80s were in dire straits. They'd been sunk down to the second tier for a match fixing scandal 6 years earlier when Berlusconi turns up in 1986, and he basically rescues them from bankruptcy. They couldn't be more down at heel. In basically at the end of 1985, the crowd at the San Siro had unfurled this huge banner saying, "Silvio Berlusconi, please buy our club." Which again sounds slightly orchestrated. I've got a feeling that didn't come as a total surprise to him. It's a massive banner. They want to be rescued. And so he's given this hero's welcome when he arrives at the stadium, landing on the pitch in a helicopter, playing Ride of the Valkyries. And I think he invites all the players as well. They land in a helicopter as well with him. It's like this ridiculous scene. But the fans couldn't be more delighted. Like one of the richest men in Italy has come to their rescue. And he later says the club was expensive, but the most beautiful women also cost a lot.
A bit of a non sequitur.
Yeah.
His mind is
does
one track.
Needlessly inject sex into
Exactly.
every
We didn't
comment.
ask you about that.
Asked you about the club's debt restructuring program. He's actually quite like a modernising owner because Italian football at that point is like really old school. All the clubs are family owned, and they're the first to open like a merch shop, like a club magazine, and all this stuff that's quite forward thinking at the time. And he hires this manager, Arrigo Sacchi, who'll go on to become a legend. And they sign again some big name players: Ruud Gullit, Marco van Basten, Carlo Ancelotti. And together they win AC Milan's first Serie A title in 9 years in 1988. So it's redemption. And from there they go on to become probably the most successful club in the world in the 90s, certainly in Europe. It's an era of unrivaled success. So back-to-back European Cups, 3 consecutive Serie A's. They go unbeaten for 58 matches. So they are dominant. They have Fabio Capello as manager for some of it. That's sort of how he made his name as a super coach.
Yeah.
But yeah, things are going very well on the pitch, and it's doing wonders for Berlusconi's reputation. But away from football, his power is becoming slightly precarious.
It is, because Italian politics in the 90s is thrown into disarray. There's this huge corruption scandal. All the major parties are implicated in it. And Berlusconi's media company as well is implicated. They've basically been funneling cash in. And this is very bad news for Berlusconi. He's potentially facing jail time. And so he decides that the best way to avoid that is to go into politics himself.
So is that like, if I'm in power, I can just cancel this?
Cancel
These cases will go away.
Act 1, scrap the corruption investigation.
And so he founds Forza Italia, this right-wing political party, which Forza Italia is basically the Come on England party. It's Come on Italy.
It's hard to argue with.
Yeah, it's what you chant.
Yeah, Forza Italia.
It's what Italian fans chant at matches.
Yeah. It's a simple sentiment.
Yeah, it's quite good.
But he admits that the whole thing is just a ruse to avoid jail, really, and to get himself even more power.
But surely everyone's like, but that guy's implicated in the corruption thing.
Yeah, so he bases his whole campaign around the fact that he's an outsider. So obviously Italians are quite disillusioned
Despite being a member of propaganda duo.
Owning 3 TV stations.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's a bit of the Trump thing, isn't it? It's
I mean, he obviously he hadn't been in politics before. Italians are disillusioned with this corrupt political system, and he positions himself as the outsider who's in there to clean up the murky swamp.
Yeah. I'm corrupt in a different sphere of influence.
Which, is ironic considering he's more mired in it than anybody else. But it works, and he wins the election in 1994, and Silvio Berlusconi is Prime Minister of Italy.
Which is mental. It's also mental, even just the owner of AC Milan, like the owner of a football club.
Yeah.
It's like Jim Ratcliffe being Prime Minister. Mike Ashley.
Mohamed Al-Fayed.
Yeah, Mohamed Al-Fayed. I think Mohamed Al-Fayed would have liked to have pursued this arc if he could. He would have gone the whole way.
Yeah, famously, he wasn't allowed a passport.
Yeah. let alone
for multiple reasons.
in office.
His first government actually collapses after 9 months. There's various disagreements with his cabinet. It's not all bad news though for Silvio, because by 1996 he's Italy's richest man. This media empire has made him a fortune, and he does stay in politics. So he's elected prime minister again in 2001. So 2001 to 2006 he's in power, and 2008 to 2011 again.
So he serves quite long terms there, especially for Italy. I thought they're like, it's always collapsing the government, isn't it?
Yeah, they had like 7 prime ministers.
Yeah, but that's 5-year terms, pretty good.
Yeah. He's clearly popular with the Italian voters,
particularly working class voters, right? They feel like he stands for them.
Yeah, I mean, you can see what we were saying at the start about his background. He's not from, aristocratic elite society roots or anything like that. So, yeah,
he's a populist.
He's
definition of.
He's a populist. And while he's popular with the Italian voters, he's not always Mr. Popular among his fellow leaders. His premierships are littered with gaffes. So 2003, he jokes that the German MP Martin Schulz looks like a Nazi concentration camp guard, which doesn't go down too well. And relations with Germany get even worse when he brands Angela Merkel an unfuckable lardarse.
Diplomatic.
She's also like, Germany's the big brother. Do you know what I mean? She's the most powerful person in Europe. So brazen.
Do you remember him saying as well about Obama? He says he likes Mr. Obama. He has a very nice tan.
Yeah. He's good looking and has a very nice tan. And have you seen the video of him when Merkel's waiting for him and he's on the phone?
No.
We could get it up. It's pretty good.
Yeah. So they're at a NATO summit and Angela Merkel's waiting to meet him on a red carpet.
It's funny him getting
and
out
he
of the
just
car.
gets out of the car
So forget how short he is.
on the phone.
Yeah,
and just takes
he
a phone call.
waves her to be like, 1 minute. And then she's just sat there waiting while he's on the phone. He just walks off. Who do you reckon he's talking to as well?
He's organising a party.
Yeah, sex line.
With your very big tits.
Right, I'm just off to see that unfuckable lardarse.
He does seem to think a little more highly, though, of the Danish Prime Minister Helle Thorning-Schmidt. So Silvio's caught on camera ogling her at an EU summit.
Oh my God.
In the slow motion, you just see his eyes go down to her ass. Just sleaziest look.
Yeah.
He doesn't give a shit about getting caught though, which is mental.
Yeah.
Is that like he's got part of his brain missing, or is it like quite calculated?
I don't know. I
It's
think
a man that's been a dog since his youth.
Yeah.
So that's the behaviour of a crooner, a good-looking crooner.
There's another funny moment. He says he had to dust off my Playboy charms to apologise to Finland's female prime minister after he insulted her country's food. One of his ministers later explained that comment by saying, anyone who's seen a picture of Halonen, the Finnish PM, must have been aware that he was joking.
Oh, God.
So his ministers are as bad as him.
Yeah. But he does just stuff his cabinet with like-minded.
Seedy playboys with slick back hair.
Yeah. And as we'll see later, also like with topless dancers and stuff.
Of course.
Another time he tells an interviewer Mussolini had been a benign dictator who did not murder opponents but sent them on holiday.
So does he quite admire Mussolini?
He's to Madagascar.
Yeah. Forever.
And Ethiopia.
Yeah. He actually goes even further in 2013. He says that Mussolini was a good leader whose biggest mistake was signing up to exterminate the Jews, which was sort of a biggie.
It was quite a big mistake, if we're calling it that.
Yeah.
The AC Milan fans don't give a shit. I mean, it's that no one like football fans will forgive sins of owners and players, and AC Milan are having like another second wave of success in the early noughties when they reached the 2005 Champions League final, which is of course against Liverpool in Istanbul, famous game. And at half time, both the fans and Silvio are cock a hoop because they're 3-0 up. And Silvio, he's in his VIP box, you know, toasting champagne, dancing a jig of joy when this Liverpool fan accidentally wanders into the VIP box. So basically this bloke was fed up because it was 3-0 to AC Milan. So he'd just gone for a wander around the stadium just to check it out. And he'd staggered into this box where Berlusconi was sat. And Silvio's in high spirits, given the score. So when he sees him, rather than kicking him out, he's like, come, sit down. And pours him a glass of champagne, sits him down next to him. And this guy's like, well, I mean, this is all right. Although it's not all good-natured sort of toasting, because Silvio then starts to lord it over him about the score. So he's like holding up 3-0. Gerrard, where is a Gerrard? Like really starting to gloat and taunt this guy who's just like, fuck's sake. But as everyone knows, the second half is a totally different game. And by the point that Liverpool equalised, this Liverpool fan is going absolutely mad, as you would be. And Berlusconi loses it. He's like getting more and more annoyed by this guy's antics and eventually stands up, starts shouting at him in Italian and, quote, jabbing him in the chest angrily. I mean, you would be quite annoyed.
Yeah, you would be annoyed.
And eventually the henchmen like turf this guy out off the box.
That's a great story. They made it into a play.
Really?
Yeah, it was on in Liverpool.
Make everything into a play.
Yeah, I was about to say that's very Liverpool. Turn it into a play.
That's stretching an idea.
Even that specific moment. But the guy actually said he thought, right, I'm being booted out of the stadium or whatever, but apparently he got booted out and they just gave him a wristband for the Liverpool VIP bit. And he was like partying with the players after the game. Absolute result. But Silvio is sobbing into his Prosecco that night. But do not fear, because he's got plenty of nasty old parties to look forward to. But you'll have to tune in to part 2 to hear about those, because we have reached the end of part 1. Silvio Berlusconi is the all-powerful king of Italy. And behind the scenes, he is up to some very, very seedy antics. So we'll see you for part 2 next week, when Berlusconi dresses escorts as Barack Obama, lures George Clooney into his lair, and is rocked by an ungodly number of sex scandals. And of course, we will be peeling back the velvet curtain on those notorious bunga parties and getting into all the grubby details. So tune in next week for that. Or, if you can't wait a week, then you can listen to it right now if you're a member of the Upshots Patreon. It's our exclusive club, much like the Bunga parties. It's an exclusive club, I'd say. The ratios are a bit different in our exclusive club. It's a bit more of a sausage
Fewer
fest.
Masons.
Fewer Masons.
Probably a few Masons.
Yeah. Couple of
Pass
Masons.
you guys.
Yeah, we're not plotting a coup. But you can join that and listen to part 2 right now. If you're not already a member, it's patreon.com/Upshot Towers. So sign up now and get stuck into those parties. The second half is less corrupt business deals and more horrid sex parties. There's
It's the sleazy half.
Yeah, there's an EU president with an erection at one point as well.
That wasn't the sleazy half.
No, no, that was not the sleazy half.
Okay.
So Mickey, you'll be with us.
Yes, I'll be back.
The seedy bit, as always. Thanks a lot for now. Thanks, Zach.
Thank you.
And thanks for listening.